Today I wanted to speak about Theta, which is a project that is looking to completely transform the way we think about streaming and online content delivery. So what is the Theta Network? Well, first of all, it's backed by Sony, Samsung, and it is their goal to make it cheaper for companies to share video content across the globe on the blockchain. But first, I want to welcome you to Crypto Never Sleeps. In case you're new to this channel and want to stay on top of the crypto world, well then please hit like, smash, subscribe, so that you can be notified every time we upload new videos. Theta Network aims to provide a decentralized infrastructure for video streaming that's cheaper than centralized alternatives. Participants in the Theta Network are paid in tokens for sharing video content to other users. How does that work? Well, we have to understand the hosting and sharing video content is kind of a tricky business. You see, the problem is if all the content is stored in one place, it can be very slow. So for people around the world to access it, video sharing websites, they will use multiple servers around the world so that they can deliver the content as quick as possible. And this is known as Content Delivery Network, CDN. But obviously, as you can imagine, this is expensive, the CDN network. So this service will typically charge for the amount of data being used, meaning that when a video streaming site becomes popular, prices will increase. And this is where Theta Network wants to make a difference. But in case you haven't heard about Theta, this is not a little project here that just has an idea. No, they are already the dominant market leader of the future. So Theta Network, it's basically aimed at cutting the costs of operation for video streaming services like YouTube. So it works by reducing the load on the content distribution network by putting some of it on the Theta's peer-to-peer network. So it's a little bit like BitTorrent, if you know that, right? Where people share video content with each other, but it typically, or actually on Theta, pays its users for sharing this content, which is, the difference. So Theta Network is trying to replace YouTube or live streaming platforms like Twitch. Instead, it's trying to provide a new infrastructure for such businesses that are not only decentralized, but far cheaper. So if you're trying to watch a video on a video streaming site that uses the Theta Network, you will receive the data in a combination of two ways. Some of the video will be streamed directly from the site's hosting platform, but you'll also receive some of it from local peers using the Theta Network. So while Theta Network claims to be cheaper than centralized alternatives, it still has some costs attached, obviously, and this is why the Theta token is needed. Now, the tokenomics of Theta is a little bit of a different thing, so the ones that are participating in the Theta Network are getting paid for sharing video content to other users. That doesn't mean that you have to share your video and produce your own video. No. You actually just share video content with other users. It can be other content providers' videos. And this video site themselves pay for this service, not the end user. So in order to pay for the data being streamed, the network uses a token called TFUEL. So when someone shares the video content to someone else who's trying to watch the video, the streaming site pays them in TFUEL tokens. It is, however, worth noting that these users, they don't stream the whole clips, but only small amounts of data for each video, so that the end user will receive fragments of video data from multiple users and then piece it together themselves. Again, maybe that sounds a little funny, right? Because you're not sitting and piecing your video together, but basically, I guess many inflows of little bits and pieces, and together comes then the YouTube video you want to watch or whatever, Mickey Mouse. So the second token that the Theta Network has is called Theta. This is a governance token that is designed to help the community manage the blockchain and control its direction for the future. Now, currently, the government elements is very young, but the project plans to hand over more and more control to Theta holders. So you can actually say the more Theta you hold, the bigger say you have. So, but if you look at the tokenomics, the Theta token has a fixed supply of 1 billion tokens. So it's not an inflationary coin. And you can stake Theta tokens to receive the utility token, which is the TFUEL, and that has a supply of 5.2 billion tokens and a fixed 5% inflation rate, which is actually pretty smart. That could almost be a global world reserve currency. A bit like what Doge is trying to do. Have a certain amount of tokens in supply and then a fixed inflationary rate, a little bit in line with the growth of the global population. That's a little bit of a side note. So, what is the Theta blockchain? Well, the blockchain is fast and it's designed for smaller payments, meaning smaller transactions. This enables it to provide real-time payments to reward content distributors for their effort. And it achieves this through proof-of-stake consensus mechanism, which is based on the Tendermint blockchain code. So this mechanism involves users locking up large amounts of Theta in a process known as staking. And I guess you know what staking is, I hope. Then the process blocks, if they process malicious blocks, they might lose some of the staked tokens. So basically you gotta put in some money, some tokens, and if you somehow, your computer is not basically malicious as if your computer is not online, right? Because then you can't share that content and then you will, not be rewarded, let's say. But the blockchain has two levels. First, it has validator nodes. These involve powerful computer processing center servers, processing a large number of transactions very quickly. And then there are fewer of these, and they are typically run by companies who are backed, or let's say backing the network, such as Samsung and Sony. They're the first line of defense in keeping the network secure. Those running validator nodes have to stake at least 1 million Theta tokens. Second, there are community nodes. Those are run by thousands of community members, and they check and validate that the validator nodes are performing accurately. So if a malicious block was somehow accepted by all the validator nodes, these community nodes would stop it in its track. These nodes only need to stake 1,000 Theta tokens. So, but who is really backing the Theta Network? Well, the company behind Theta Network is called Theta Labs, and it's run by CEO Mitch Liu and has its own streaming site called THETA.TV, which pays viewers, as we said in TFUEL, to watch video content, since they are then sharing that content to other peers. Let's have a look at the price. As we can see here, ThetaFuel is currently trading at 61 cents per TFUEL, which is the utility token, ranked 35th largest coin in the world, and with a market cap of 3.2 billion. And as you can see here, ThetaFuel knows nothing about a bear market or a Bitcoin manipulation. We can see ThetaFuel basically only knows one way. That is quite impressive compared to the current market situation. And now let's get into today's price prediction. So the first prediction comes from digitalcoin.com, and they're basing it on an in-house algorithm, and they believe they're going to see a high of 87 cents in 2021, 2022 a high of $1.05, in 2023 a high of $1.26, $1.54 in 24, and in 2025 they believe we can see a high of $1.88. The next one comes from walletinvestor.com, and they are also basing their future price prediction on an in-house technical approach. They're seeing a high of 93 cents in 2021, in 2022 a high of $1.74, $2.64 in 2023, 2024 they're seeing a high of $3.60, and in 2025 they're seeing a high of $4.57. Next one comes from cryptocurrencypriceprediction.com, and they're basing it on a fundamental approach. They believe that we can see a high in 2021 of $2.95, $10.45 in 2022, and in 2025 they believe we can see $25, and in 2030 $54 for one utility token. So this is it for me. I hope you enjoyed it. I mean, Theta is really, it's a true market leader already. Not of tomorrow, I would say. I mean, maybe a market leader of tomorrow in the sense that we are not all watching our content and sharing it like we most likely will be doing in the future. But I can sure tell you that they are big, and I believe they're here to stay. So probably not a bad investment to have in your portfolio, because I currently do not see how they will not be able to succeed. Anyway, let me know what you think down below, and furthermore, please come on, hit and smash and like and do all those goodies, and come and join us for a little bit of hanky panky on the live streams that we do almost daily. So stay safe, stay home, don't think too much, and remember to watch a lot of internet, and for God's sake, share it.